One
Scary
to the
stuff.
other. On Friday, Summer Zervos, former apprentice contestant, came forward in a presser with attorney Gloria Allred and made allegations of sexual misconduct against Donald Trump, inappropriate and unwanted touching and the like. This is what Gloria Allred said in part at the outset of that presser on Friday.
The White House is not a locker room, and the American people deserve better than a president who believes that is entitled to grope and grab and sexually assault women at his pleasure. You should be ashamed of yourself. How can we hold you up as an example for our children? The office of the President of the United States is not reserved for the worst of us, someone without values who regards women as sexual objects or who thinks that his star power gives him a license to denigrate women.
That's Gloria Allred, who joins us now. Miss Allred, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you for inviting me. Good morning.
Good morning. So would the description you offered of Donald Trump apply to Bill Clinton as well?
Of course.
Okay. So would you be interested in representing any of the accusers that have leveled similar charges or worse against Bill Clinton, or have you in the past?
You know, have I in the past represented any accuser of Bill Clinton?
Yes.
No, I have not in the past represented any accuser of Bill Clinton.
Did any of them reach
But Bill
out to you?
Clinton, I might add right now, is not on the ballot. For those who haven't noticed,
No, I understand.
Hillary Rodham Clinton that's on the ballot.
No, I understand, but her role in that period in time is still relevant, since all of this is relevant going back as far as people can go back.
Well, exactly what are you alleging was her role?
Well, I mean, just what she said. So when this is not in dispute. You'll note for the record, I'd like to enter this as Exhibit 1 when she referred to Monica Lewinsky as a narcissistic Looney Tune. We now know that that's not the case. Isn't that true?
Isn't it true that she referred to her that way? There is someone that made that allegation. Whether or not it's true, I really couldn't tell you.
So are there other accusers that have been, or alleged accusers of the Donald Trump inappropriately touching them that you're currently in talks with?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
Are there other possible clients?
Other Trump accusers?
Yeah, that you might be representing or bringing forward to the media?
Yes, in other words, more than Summer Zervos who have contacted me, yes. Many women who allege that they were victims of Mr. Trump contacted me even before the Access Hollywood Billy Bush on the Bus tapes were released, and since then.
Mm-hmm.
Are you at liberty to say how many?
More women will be coming out.
I bet. Here's a question about the email that Summer Zervos sent to Donald Trump's assistant back in April, asking him to come stop by her restaurant in Huntington Beach, California, and otherwise being very complimentary of Mr. Trump. How should we understand that in light of the allegations she leveled on Friday?
I did explain, but at the original news conference and then yesterday, and I think it's a fair question. And yesterday I had a press conference with Ann Russo, who's a licensed clinical social worker who was friends with Summer for several years before Ann moved to another state. And Summer told Ann that she was conflicted about Mr. Trump's behavior, that although she was troubled by it, that she felt that it didn't reveal his character, and that she still admired him and wanted to work for his organization. And Anne states that it's common, she's dealt with many rape and sexual assault victims, and as a licensed clinical social worker, she says it's common for victims to have conflicted feelings about the person that victimized them if they previously held a positive image of that person. And Summer always wanted to give Mr. Trump the benefit of the doubt. She continued to believe that his alleged conduct towards her was not indicative of his character, but just something that he did in the moment, that he was probably ashamed of his behavior, that he wouldn't repeat it. But she had no idea that his core belief system was that he was entitled to engage in sexually inappropriate behavior with women to whom he was attracted.
So the triggering event was that Billy Bush Donald Trump tape for her?
Yes, when she heard Mr. Trump's own words on that October 8th Access Hollywood tape, she realized that the man she admired, that she thought she knew, was someone who believed that women were there for his sexual pleasure, and that what had allegedly happened to her was entirely consistent with Mr. Trump's spoken words, and that is what prompted her to come forward.
And Summer Zervos, she is a registered Republican, is she not? And she was promoting Donald Trump, and she wanted to vote for him for president. Is she still going to do so?
I don't know if she was registered as a Republican. I never asked her what her registration was, and I haven't asked her how she's going to vote. But it's all been very, very upsetting to her.
So what's the legal play here? Is there a complaint to be filed, or what does the legal representation entail?
Well, Summer could have filed a lawsuit against Mr. Trump a number of years ago when this happened. At this point, she has no intention of filing any kind of legal action against him. Of course, if Mr. Trump defames any of the accusers, then they would have a right to file a civil lawsuit for slander or libel or both.
They kind of made themselves.
That's not her intention at this time.
They've kind of made themselves public figures at this point, but it's a fair point. But so in this capacity, you're acting not as an officer of the court or an attorney. You're acting like as a PR spokesman.
Well, that's not exactly true, because I do give legal advice to those who seek my advice, and many women who consult me are, seeking my legal evaluation of what they have to say. And I always explain to everyone, first of all, when they contact an attorney, me or anyone else, they're entitled to confidentiality. We don't disclose the name of anyone who has contacted us or the content of what they tell us. And my job is to tell them the benefits and the risks of moving forward in any way, whether it's speaking out or doing anything else. And then they can make an informed decision as to what they want to do.
You had mentioned that there are others. Are you at liberty to say how many there are and when we might be hearing from them?
Excuse me. No, I'm not.
Okay. And then Summers, is she... I know she did a wonderful job, I thought, of putting people in the room. I felt like as if I was there, in the room with her, because it was such a detailed recall or reenactment of what happened. Yeah. Had she taken notes after Donald Trump had did this to her and then played off of those notes, or was this just so traumatic that she remembered everything?
No, she didn't take notes, but that I know of. However, she has spoken to at least 3 people about what happened to her. And one of those people, for example, was with us yesterday at our press conference yesterday. That's Ann Russo, who came forward and shared that Summer had shared with her what happened. And, often, I'm not a psychologist, but it's been my experience as a lawyer for 40 years that often when there is a traumatic event, then that person may tend to remember that event more than they would just, common everyday details. So she has a good memory of what happened. She's been able to say it in very vivid detail because it's something that was very, very shocking and disturbing to her.
All right. She is Gloria Allred, attorney representing former apprentice contestant Summer Zervos. Gloria, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
You too. And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.